Hello and welcome to this week's edition of FX Addicts Currency Weekly Update. Today is August 3rd, Friday, 2012, and it has been quite the week. Very, very volatile week in the currency markets. Gone up and down and ending almost where we started or not too far off. So a lot of volatility and a lot of action here with just about everything. The euro today up 189 pips right now as we're coming up to the close. Was up a little bit over 200 earlier. Same thing yesterday, and it was up early in yesterday's session and then fell and closed negative for the day. And as we can see here, we're kind of building this outward momentum type of reverse triangle, which usually signals a turnaround. The issue here is that we're really kind of flat right here and not really showing any signs of any type of turnaround in any particular direction. So we're moving up today, the last day of the week, and for the week we're ending up positive. And we can see here on the weeklies that we're moving a little bit higher, but still very much in tune with where we were last week's highs. So overall, really does not look like we're going to do much of anything except maybe bounce around for maybe another week with a little bit of an upward bias and then a sell-off. There really isn't anything to indicate that we're going to break out of this longer-term downward pattern that we have going here since really the end of February. So discernible patterns, there really isn't any on the weeklies. Monthly wise, well, monthly we could pop up here. Of course, it's only 3 days into the month, so we could pop up a little bit more here on the beginning of the month and then sell off towards the end of the month. Now, technically speaking, that's what should happen. The euro fundamentally having a lot of issues. It is very oversold at this point, so we are in need of a little bit of a bounce. But that's on a short-term basis. Longer term, like we're looking at here on the monthlies, really is very bearish looking. Now, the British pound today against the dollar, up 125 pips, and we are now still in the same range that we've been at since really the middle of June, and really is no real sign of a turnaround. Now, technically, we moved up here, and we fell back, moved up, and now we're starting to fall back again. Technically, what should happen is we should fall out to the bottom here and make new lows. Now, whether that happens or not is a real good guess, but technically, that's what should happen. Looking at the weeklies here, we're still in the same range that we've been at for quite a few months now, and we're really just consolidating to a finer and finer point, which usually signals then a continuation of a longer-term trend. The longer-term trend is certainly down here. So we break down below this trend line, this support line, and close decisively below it. So right now we're at about 154.70 on that trend line. So if we were to close 153.50, that would be enough here to signal a decent turnaround on a weekly basis. And on a monthly basis, that would also put us below the trend line on the longer-term monthlies. So if we close the month of August out at that level or lower, then that would be very bearish also longer term. Technically, we're running this huge fall off, this consolidation right here coming to a peak. We close down in here. We'll continue lower. Probably take out these lows around 135 and maybe even go to about 125. There's a very, very good possibility there. U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc. Well, again, U.S. dollar getting clobbered today. It is down 150 against the Swissy. Back down to just above 97. For the week now, we've had yesterday was a big day also. We sold off quite a bit in the early part of the session, then rallied back and closed higher. So Very, very volatile the last couple of days here, and really the last couple of weeks also. So we're trying to build, it looks like, a possible top here, but again, we got just the opposite happening here as we do on the euro against the dollar, and that is this widening out pattern. So that usually signals a turnaround. Now, again, we're moving up here, so it could signal that we're going to sell off. However, stochastics are down, and really we haven't tested these highs back here. So I'm more inclined to believe that we're going to turn around and go higher at this point. We look on the weeklies, we can see that now this will be the second week down. Last week was quite the range as well. So we've pulled back now 2 weeks. Maybe we get a third week of a pullback, a little bit more, and then maybe a move up higher. Now on the monthlies, 3 days, of course, into the month doesn't make the month, but it could be the start of something where we sell off early in the month and then rally back towards the end of the month. Now, technically, if we got up to this 101.70 area for this month, that would be very, very positive, and it would continue on with the projected uptrend here. Now, eventually, we really should break out to the upside of this multi-year trend line. This trend line goes back 10 years, a little bit more than that, almost 12 years. So technically speaking, we should break through to the upside and close above that and start a new upward trend. And that's all because of this down here, this spike low, and it was below the lower trend line. So technically speaking, we should pop up above this this multi-year trend line and then start a new rally that could last for several years. U.S. dollar against Japanese yen, up nicely today, up 37 pips, back up above 78.50. We're looking like it's starting to turn around. We got a little bit of a curved bottom here, so there's a possibility we could seek some higher ground here for a few days at least, if not a little longer. What we're looking for a decisive close above this this minor trend line here. So realistically, we got to close back above about 79.80, 79.90, maybe even 80 even. Technically, looking here at the stochastics and how we've perked up here a little, this could be really the start of something. And we look here at the weeklies, we can see how we're right in the same area here that we were a few months ago here, a couple months ago, and really kind of building a base. So if we can actually move up here this week, this next week, and kind of take out maybe half of these, a couple of these closes, that would be positive. Also on the monthlies then, we've had now the last 3 months in the same range. So if this month, if we can close decisively above the last 3 months highs, that would be very bullish as well. That would turn this whole thing around, and we could get back up well up into the 80s here and quite possibly make new highs even. So looking for August to be a fairly decent month here. If not, if it fails, then we could go down here to this to the 75 area and possibly even make new lows. But the risk there is that that the Bank of Japan would intervene and sell yen and buy dollars, sell yen and buy euros. So that is a real risk possibility in here. Euro Swiss still hanging out in the 120.10, 120.12 area, really not going anywhere. Had a little spike up yesterday, but fell right back within a matter of an hour. So not a lot of action really there. Euro Yen, big day today, up about 200 pips, rocking up, and it's up above the most recent highs here. So we're doing pretty well. Looks like this may continue for a day or two. We are still well above this this minor trend line. We came down here, made new lows in this couple last week, and now we've moved up just slightly. And here on the weeklies, we can see how we're kind of stuck in all these minor trend lines here. So this rally could get capped very easily, and fall off. So we've had now, this is second week up. We could have maybe a little bit next week in the beginning and then falling off. Monthly wise, still looks very, very weak. Looks like we'll get down to this upper 80s, lower 90s area, quite possibly even this month. We could rally here the early part of the month, and then turn around and close the month decisively lower. So there's that real risk in here. Now again, the risk here is that we get too low, and there would be some intervention then by the Japanese government to sell yen and buy euros. The euro, though, is the story, and the euro is the weak currency. So that is the problem here, not necessarily that Japan is that much stronger. It's just that Europe is that weak. So we will have to wait and see there, but overall, longer term does look bearish. Still looking forward to hit that upper 80s, lower 90s area. Well, that is it for the week. Please stop on by if you haven't and say hello. I am around most days, in fact all days, at various times now, depending on the market action. So if I'm not there, by all means shoot me an email or Skype or send me a chat, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you. Thanks for checking in.